birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Sin City. It's the championship race in the GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Hello and welcome. I'm Dylan Coyle, joined alongside Jeremy Briggs here, and it will be a thrilling night of action on Maconi Entertainment. It's been a good 14 races before we've gotten to this point, and there's 4 drivers in the running to take home this Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series title. And I'd like to welcome in Jeremy Briggs. Jeremy, it's been 14 good races. We've had some races that, you know, multiple drivers have been in contention. We've had some where it seems like it's just a battle between 1 or 2 drivers. Tonight, all is up for grabs. Nothing else matters except the win of the race and whoever finishes above the other 3 competitors.
Man, just like the good old NASCAR Cup schedule, comes down to just 4 drivers in this one race. I'm so excited that we're going to finish up here at the Sin City, Las Vegas. This is going to be a great track. These next-gen cars have been really great at these mile halves. They've produced some great racing. GoatLocker Racing has produced some great racing. I'm excited to be here. These 4 drivers are going to put it all on the line. We've seen some extremely aggressive racing to get here. I bet you these drivers do some extremely aggressive racing to win this championship.
Absolutely, and let's take a look at some track information for this 100-lap event tonight at the 1.5-mile oval. 20-degree bank turns. It opened in 1996, but in the mid-2000s is when the banking and the current configuration of this track really came to take shape. It used to be a lot flatter. The banking got added. It's become a very fast intermediate racetrack, and it's also very bumpy, and in at least the real world, and maybe in sim as well, it's very windy, so you get a lot of external forces that plays into how well the driver is going to be able to handle their race car around this track. And with nerves certainly about to be very, very high tonight, I'm sure that every bump is going to feel like a mountain once they go over it.
Speaking of nerves, my nerves are up, man. This is going to be some great racing, and like you said, this track has a lot of character to it. Even though it is a 1.5 miles, we're under the lights. We could see some really fast racing. It's going to be aggressive racing. These four drivers, it all comes down to this. As you can see right here, the four drivers racing for that championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick Drabick is in that 07 machine, got a pair of wins in the playoffs already. He locked himself into the championship for a couple weeks ago. JJ Moore, Jason Taylor, and Logan Sturgeon round out that group of four drivers that are going to have a shot to win this title. Going to be a lot of fun here. It really wasn't necessarily a shock to see any of these four make the final four. JJ Moore, Jason Taylor, and Patrick Drabick were all three of them in the top four going into last week's race. Logan Sturgeon was 1 point below that cutoff line. It was able to get in courtesy of a strong performance at Nashville. So the stage is set. We've got 1:15 seconds to go before we do get the qualifying order tonight, and so far it does look like it is dominated by drivers who are competing for this championship.
As you saw that in the graphic, the 07 of Patrick Drabick started the round of 12 at the bottom. He had kind of a slow start coming into the middle of the season. He came to the playoffs, and the defending champion it's like the light switch got turned on. He became extremely dominant, and I feel like our defending champion is going to be one of the favorites here tonight. Like you said, JJ Moore, though, trying to say, I've been up front all season long. I deserve this championship. We'll see if Logan Sturgeon has anything to say there, too. He's just inside the top 5.
Yeah, and 30 seconds to go here. That's a pretty, very small amount of drivers who have finished at least one lap here tonight. They all get 2 laps to complete their qualifying. Jesse Whittington obviously had a problem on his first lap here. So lots of question marks if we're going to see any more time set in the next 10 seconds, because only 6 drivers to set a time. That is quite insane if that's the case.
It's really... Yeah, that's really wild. Interesting. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen this all season, Dylan, and I don't see anybody on the track.
So that's exactly what we're going to see. Only 6 drivers set times. Jesse Whittington, even with a time that's 4.7 seconds off the pace, is still going to be starting in the top 6. That is incredible. JJ Moore grabs pole position alongside Jake Collins, Patrick Drabick in 3rd, Logan Sturgeon in 4th. 3 of the top 4 starters in this race will be championship 4 competitors. George Jewell rounds out the top 5. Jesse Whittington rounds out the first 3 rows. We continue on. Jason Taylor, the other championship competitor, kept making mistakes during his run. He'll start in 7th. Brandon Wallace, Timothy Williams, Timothy Stubblefield, your first 5 rows, while Tyler Justice, Josh Lokenvitz in your first 6 rows, Bobby Germain, Jacob Lenke, and Doug Ellingson, your 15 drivers in this, albeit small field. It's proven to be competitive even with the smaller car counts we've seen throughout the playoffs.
Small car counts will always not disappoint. I feel like we're going to have some great racing like we've had all season long. This is going to be a great stacked field. Like you said, one driver having an issue during qualifying, still able to start in the top 6. That's probably a breath of fresh air as we take a look at our Maconi setup shop race analysis here. 100 laps is the distance here tonight. Pit road speed 45 miles per hour. No fast repairs. This is a fixed setup here for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here. Just one pace lap is all we are going to have. It's the final pace lap of the season before a race. Now, we might have cautions, and we probably will have cautions throughout this race, but it is no better time to talk about Jam Printing and Promotions, the Pole Award presenters of this series. Of course, Jam Printing and Promotions is a company that is based out of Indiana, does a great job of being local, veteran certified, and when they do well, they can do more good in the community. And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with GoatLocker Racing since the very beginning and provide the group with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and of course, the Pole Award sponsorship. The pole is sat on by JJ Moore, and he will lead the field to green through the InVets restart zone. 100 laps at Las Vegas. Who will be champion? Let's find out. Barty, the flagman, has the green in his hand. He waves it. Green flag in Sin City. Let's roll the dice and get underway.
JJ Moore leading Jake Collins, Patrick Drabeck down the backstretch. Logan Sturgeon there in fourth looking on. Look at Jake Collins all the way up against the wall. We're coming around to complete lap number one. JJ Moore is going to lead that one.
JJ Moore will lead lap one. Patrick Drabeck, Jake Collins, your top three runners at the moment. Field spread out by almost 2 seconds. And oh, look at that. Drabeck wants to go down low, wants to use those fresh tires to try and mount a run down the inside in turn 3. JJ Moore, the fight back on the outside. Collins tries to fight back against Logan Sturgeon, who went down low, took away P3. And Patrick Drabeck will lead lap 2, gets clear of JJ Moore.
Defending champion with the Jam Printing Promotions machine trying to show the way. Oh, JJ Moore, look at that. I said aggressive racing was going to be there. Wow, as we ride on board here, then that's in-car camera with JJ Moore. You can see, boy, that was extremely close. He's now right tight on that right side of the 07.
Yeah, this is some good racing right here. 3 of the 4 championship competitors have their driver in-car cams turned on for us. We're going to be able to watch them race all night. JJ Moore is in a tight battle. Patrick Drabeck starts to slide up, gets a bit tight, and then got a bit loose off the corner exit. Has to drop in line behind the 54. This could be a preview of a championship battle with just laps remaining.
And guess who just joined the top 4? Jason Taylor, now joining the fight for this championship 4.
Yeah, this is fun. This is good racing right now. Jason Taylor, who started 7th, had issues throughout qualifying. Already up 3 spots in this one. Collins back in 5th right now, continuing to drop back from his first row starting position. Taylor, who is the Texas-born driver, is trying to get around Logan Sturgeon. And what do you know it? The top 4 all championship 4 competitors.
We have another InVets in-car camera here, riding on board with Jason Taylor all over the back bumper of that 26, trying to get a good run down the backstretch, trying to put himself into position number 3. All championship 4 drivers right here, all within a half a second. This is going to be a great battle over these next 94 laps.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun here with these drivers continuing to give us some competitive lap times and competitiveness in their battling on track. You saw a puff of smoke. One car in the midfield got into the outside wall. Everything is okay for now. Right down on that white line is Jason Taylor looking for a way to get by Sturgeon. Patrick Drabick down the inside of JJ Moore. Moore led that lap, but the momentum is with Drabick. Is he able to get by in the one? Yes, he is. JJ Moore will fight back.
What is this? Our third or fourth lead change within the first 8 laps between our 2 championship contenders with our awesome onboard shots here with Patrick Drabick in the 07. Now in the lead, trying to lead another lap. Look at this shot. This shot right here shows you all 4 championship drivers in the hunt. This is going to be an exciting night, like we just continue to speak about. And there's a reason why all 4 drivers up here in the front.
Yeah, this is quite awesome to see. And unlike, a real world NASCAR race, we're not looking at drivers who have different setups or maybe a little extra something, as people like to think. It's all fixed setup racing here. All these drivers working with the same bit of equipment. They're just racing as fast as anybody else in this field right now. But we got to give a shout out to Jake Collins, doing a great job of staying within fighting distance of the top 4. He's just hanging around in 5th.
Just grabbed who I was going to talk about, Jake Collins in this number 81 machine. Currently running 5th. Doing a great job, like I said, hanging on. Started in 2nd, dropped a couple positions, but we got a long ways to go. And he might be trying to spoil this championship party up front. And maybe next year he can be a part of it.
Yeah, this is quite fantastic. Jake Collins, the New Jerseyan, if you will. There's a lot of different places in New Jersey, but there's no Central New Jersey. Central Jersey does not exist. And if anyone tells you one way, don't believe it, as Taylor goes down the inside of Sturgeon for the first time. This might be a positional change between those 2 drivers. That's exactly what it is. And all of a sudden, Sturgeon has lost a good bit of speed, and Jake Collins is right on that left bumper.
Ooh, Sturgeon feeling the pressure right now in that Cruisin Classics number 26. Now back to 4th. Still rolling on lap 12 of 100, but we do have to pit. Not gonna lie, knock on wood, we've got a little bit of a green flag feel to this race. Feel like you said, getting a little bit spread out. Right now, the last car on the track up to speed is 4.5 seconds to the rear, so field, but 4.5, almost 5 seconds spread out. So at this rate, we might be green for just a tidbit. We'll have to see how it plays out. And I know you're gonna have to make green flag stops. Can these drivers execute these stops and have no penalties or spin out or anything like that? So these drivers got to start thinking ahead of the game here, as the battle for lead is still within reach there for JJ Moore.
Yeah, the battle for the lead certainly still within the realm of possibility for JJ Moore. He's just hanging around. This is pretty solid from him. Drabick gets a bit tight through mid-corner. That allows a better exit speed for JJ Moore. Not a huge amount, but enough to close in on the back bumper. It will help that it almost appears to be he's rolling into the corner a little bit more shallow than Patrick Drabick. That might lead to better longevity on those tires as this run continues.
It's weird that you say it, Dylan, because watching this right now, it's almost like the second place driver almost has an advantage. They can use the driver to their front, but it looks like Moore wants more, as he's going to go for that lead down the backstretch.
Look at this. Look at this. Still 2 drivers side by side. I mean, this has been quite entertaining, but you know who has not joined the party yet? It's Jason Taylor. He is right on that rear bumper of the 54 machine. Taylor wants to go from 7th to maybe 1st in just 16 laps. He's got speed. He's using up his equipment very early on, though, but leading laps is going to be a good momentum booster. He's alongside the 54, looking to take 2nd.
Look at this run by that 41 of Jason Taylor right now. Really in the groove, marching to the front. Right now in second, the 07 is now in front of him. What can Jason Taylor do when he gets there? Is he going to just hang out here and ride it out, or is he just going to go up there and take the lead and try to set the pace?
JJ Moore got down on the apron. It sent his car way up the racetrack. He lost a ton of track position, a ton of time. Jay Collins didn't want to push the issue. He could have taken fourth place away from Moore. Instead, Moore has to fight with Logan Sturgeon, and he's doing a decent job already.
A little bit of pressure right now getting to JJ Moore, making some slight mistakes, trying to get a little more aggressive, trying not to lose that lead. As Jason Taylor is all over the back bumper of Patrick Drabeck as we are going to the backstretch. Can he make the pass going to the 3 and 4? No, the 07 drives it in even deeper. You're right on board there. You got a great onboard shot of Patrick and his Simberg right now as Taylor gets to his inside.
Man, Drabeck is focused right here. That determination. Does he blink at all? I doubt it. As they go into turn one, Drabeck has to settle for second for the time being. Jason Taylor just too fast right now. Oh, there's some damage on track. I wonder, was it Bobby Germain? He's currently the only driver down pit road right now in 14th. Something absolutely happened to him, but no caution on track. We stay green, working towards lap 20.
20 laps into this run, these drivers are going to start feeling some, setup changes, even though they're fixed. We've burned up some fuel. Tires are probably at their max temperature. You got to be extremely careful. You don't slide them too much and make them too upset. These tires take a long time to recover, and at these speeds, it's really hard to recover. Wow, Patrick Drabeck all over his back bumper, not letting that lead get too far away, but these two drivers right now almost got themselves out to a second over the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. I think once Taylor came up to fight with Patrick Drabeck, Drabeck wanted to put it in high gear and start moving away from the rest of the pack. Drabeck goes down the inside. JJ Moore gets a little bit loose off corner number 2, but Drabeck tries to take back P1 in 3 and 4, goes down low, gets tight, and they almost make contact. They certainly did. That could have been disastrous for both Jason Taylor and the 07 of Patrick Drabeck.
Holy cow, that was extremely massive contact between these drivers. That 07 almost had its right nose going straight towards that outside wall. That was a great save by those drivers. Wow, that was close.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane right there that both drivers were able to keep it off the wall through this tri-oval. Goodness me, working on lap 23 of 100. And I mean, that was a very, very strong, assertive move from Patrick Drabeck right there, but it wasn't necessarily the most calculated. If I'm Jason Taylor, I'm a bit upset there.
I've got to assume there's a little bit of damage. I mean, still, there's almost 2 seconds away from the rest of the field, but that was some pretty significant damage or significant contact. So I don't know if there's maybe a little bit of aero deficiency, but they are still battling extremely aggressive for this lead and almost driving away a little bit. We'll have to see if their lap times even out at some point as this lead seems to calm down a little bit. Let's look through this field real quick. You got Drabeck right there, championship leader. Jason Taylor second. Logan Sturgeon, they're in third. Jake Collins trying to spoil this championship party there in fourth. JJ Moore, our final championship contender, in fifth. Josh Slokenvitz is in sixth in that number 79 machine. Another onboard shot there with Josh.
Yeah, let's take a little look on board with the driver of the 79 machine. Almost a bit too high through 1 and 2. Let's go back to the lead battle because it's once again on. Because Taylor and Drabeck side by side. Does Taylor push the issue a little bit here? No, was very, very courteous in the battling coming off of turn 4. We'll see if it remains that way. They get very close going into turn 1. Drabeck, that middle groove between 2 seams, and takes the lead back away, but not for long. Jason Taylor wants to get back into that draft and go for another battle, going lower down in 3 and 4.
Every time I feel like these two drivers are done battling it out, before you know it, we're back side by side. Taylor not letting Drebeck get any breath of fresh air. Oh, almost contact again going into turn 1 and 2. Almost got into his left rear quarter panel right there that jammed different motions on it.
Man, these drivers are getting a little bit too aggressive for this point in the race. They're both 2+ seconds ahead of third place. And on these two are right now your championship competitors, your championship contenders as this race continues. They don't want to do anything to destroy their own race, and we certainly don't want to see it. This has been awesome to watch. We're not even a third of the way through this race. Is coming out of the pits right there, I think, was Doug Ellingson. So 12 drivers remain on the lead lap. We're on lap 28. We've got coming to 72 to go. Pit strategy, by the way, as Moore and Sturgeon go side by side. It's looking like a halfway kind of deal with some undercutting, some overcutting that will happen. Sturgeon, JJ Moore, they're fighting for 4th and 5th. Jake Collins just in front of them. An uncomfortable spot to be in for everyone in that battle for 3rd.
Extremely close, battling all over the track, especially for this championship. Oh, Sturgeon almost wrecked it down the backstretch. What a great save. If you're watching at Nasty's Bar and Grill, you are getting an awesome show here tonight for this championship.
Let's see a replay of what happened here. Logan Sturgeon, you can start to see it get wooed up a little bit too much. And what a beautiful save. It was around 30 degrees off center.
Oh, contact up front. Drebeck's are almost around. He's around. Holy cow.
is able to save it. And, is he going to loop it this time? He loops it. Is a caution going to come out? He starts to drive the other way. I feel like he's doing everything he can to bring out the caution, but it does not come out. Oh, my goodness. Championship contenders, did they make contact?
Jason Taylor, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, there's going to be aggressive racing. It's been like that, all this playoff racing, and Jason Taylor got to Drebeck's back bumper right off the 07. Yeah, he got a little loose right there on the exit of 2, and Jason Taylor was just right there, and Drebeck did everything he could trying to save it, and just spun out, got stuck down the apron.
My goodness, that was a combination of just getting loose and the job being finished there by Jason Taylor. And now it's a 17.5-second gap for Patrick Drebeck. And you have to imagine that the only way he gets back into this championship conversation is if a caution comes out in this race. I mean, that is a combination of mistake from Drebeck that was just pounced on by Taylor.
We'll have to keep an eye on that for the 07, our defending champion. You can see right there, JJ Moore now in 2nd place. Running 2nd now in the championship for battle. Jake Collins there in 3rd, battling with Logan Sturgeon. As you can see, Doug Ellingson that just came off the pit road. I believe he's got some fresher tires. Trying to unlap himself. You can see Sturgeon right there in the background. Looks like he's not getting pressure from the 94 of Jesse Whittington. Whittington, who was on a strong stretch coming to these playoffs. Unfortunately missed a couple races. We got another awesome onboard shot in his sim rig of Jesse Whittington. Done a great job providing that for us all season long. Appreciate these drivers providing these awesome real life shots. Get to see these drivers' faces really makes it a good part of this event.
Yeah, it truly does. Whittington down the inside of Logan Sturgeon in that Cal Naughton Jr. looking race car. The number 26, the 94, gets by him. Now Sturgeon is back to 5th. He is 3rd of the championship for competitors at the moment. That does him no good, obviously, to win that championship when the race tonight is all said and done. 100 laps, the event length. We have been caution-free so far throughout tonight's race. And there's no better time to talk about Nasty's Restaurant and Bar. Nasty's opened its doors in Hilliard, Ohio in March 21st, 2012. And from the get-go, they aim to embody the energy and passion of our sons, Nathan and John, and what they poured into their dreams. Nathan's commitment to hospitality ensured that every guest received exceptional food and service. They've hosted numerous fundraisers in their establishment for GoatLocker Racing with the goal of raising funds to donate a sim rig to a deserving veteran or first responder. Of course, co-partners with Wednesday's Next Gen Cruisin Classics series, which, by the way, Cruisin Classics is from Columbus, Ohio. They've been buying and selling cars for many years. The majority were your average daily drivers, but her passion has always been in muscle cars and hot rods. So in 1996, Cruisin Classics built a 56,000 square foot showroom located in Columbus, Ohio that they still operate out of today. All of our vehicles are handpicked and selected to ensure they fit our inventory, and the facility is now arguably one of the best stocked collections for sale in the U.S., housing hundreds of unique automobiles all under one roof. We invite you to our facility. There is something for everybody when you come to visit. And as the primary partner of this series, they have been with GoatLocker Racing since the very beginning. As the 94 and 81 continue to do battle here, Jake Collins got a little bit squirrely on corner exit. Whittington has been saving his equipment just for this moment.
Whittington's been a driver that's kind of found himself better on the long runs, it feels like, in this season. And that's some close racing, and one driver I'm sure that's just hoping somebody slips up somewhere so we can get another caution, or get a caution, is at 07 right now, as he finds himself still 18 seconds off the pace right there in 11th. Not losing too much time to our leader. Actually was faster than the leader that last time by, but unfortunately still quite a ways away to go. We'll see how it comes around to him, see if he can get back to these leaders after some pit stop strategies of some sort.
Yeah, pit stops will happen in around 10 or so laps. And why not? Let's continue to run through some of our partners now that the competition has gotten a little bit more stable. Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're a very large partner of GLR, and they are a title sponsor of the Fall Series. And with that being said, of course, GoatLocker Racing is a vet-run organization, and InVets does a great job making sure that every veteran, every woman, every child are taken care of. And together we can build a future for Indiana veterans. And you can make a difference today with a monthly commitment of $25 or whatever you are willing to provide. InVet supports GoatLocker Racing, from sponsorship to helping us identify veterans for our community. Please scan the QR code above or go through the GoatLocker Racing links to donate to them today. And when veteran organizations partner together, we all win, one lap at a time. As Jason Taylor continues to lead the way now by 2.8 seconds here. If this race remains at this pace for Taylor, there's going to be a lot of talk about the incident between he and Drabick. However, I don't think you can pin that on Taylor whatsoever.
I agree, Dylan. I don't think you can actually pin that right there on Taylor. It did look like the 07 was kind of just fighting loose, maybe went across the seam, and just kind of aided into that. Maybe a little bit aero help, and then just Taylor just, like you said, just kind of got, oh, it's Jake Collins with a big wiggle off of two, but just kind of got to his back bumper, and unfortunately just kind of how it ended up. And luckily for the 07, didn't make any contact with anything, so just some upset tires and a lot of track time lost. We'll see if he can continue to make that time up as we are almost halfway. This race is just moving right along.
Yeah, it's moving right along, and you're watching this on Maconi Entertainment. Of course, MaconiSetupShop.com is the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more. On the iRacing service, subscriptions for the setups are available for as low as $8 per month. It's the official setup shop of eNASCAR and the official series sponsor of the NASCAR C Fixed Series. We're on Maconi Entertainment, and you're watching us, Dylan Coyle and Jeremy Briggs, bring you some Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series GoatLocker Racing action on Maconi Entertainment. Closing in on halfway through this championship race at Las Vegas, and one of the championship competitors is right on your screen. Actually, two of them battling to try and get by Jake Collins, who is currently in third place. Sturgeon got very, very wiggly going up the track through 3 and 4.
Almost 50 laps of green flag action on these tires. I'm not sure if any of these drivers, really practiced a 50-lap run of just out here driving as hard as you can, try not to lose any lap time. But this has been some great racing all throughout the field, especially for this championship battle. Is a lot of non-championship contenders really starting to show their muscle here. Halfway mark into this final race here for GoatLocker Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, and I can't believe we've already made it to the finale of this series.
Yeah, it is quite incredible here as JJ Moore will try and wrangle that race car around the bumps on the lower ends of 1 and 2. I mean, pit stops are coming soon. You can gain a little bit of added time if you do take a earlier pit stop, but you will suffer as the run continues. I mean, let's look at the best lap times versus the last lap times. They have been quite stark in their contrast. JJ Moore, for example, has the best lap time or one of the best lap times. The best lap time in the race so far has been made by, of course, none other than the leader, Jason Taylor. Taylor was a 29.958. In clean air, his last lap time was a 32.129. So we're seeing 2 to 3 seconds of fall off here. We're not even quite halfway through this race. That will continue, and it might be treacherous to go more than one lap on the overcut as JJ Moore dives down the inside of Logan Sturgeon to take away fourth.
I think we might have a battle for our lead here shortly, as well as Jason Whittington. Now it's just 1.5 seconds away from our leader. Also, surprisingly, Dre back there in 7th, running 31 flats to our leader's 31 threes.
Yeah, this has been quite incredible. You're starting to see some pit stops happening here. Everyone from Lokenvitz on back has made a stop that is still on track. So we'll see how the strategy kind of plays out. The top 7 still out there on the same tires. I mean, it's really not a battle for Taylor, for Moore, for Sturgeon. Okay, there we go. So Jason Taylor down pit road. I was going to say the battle is between those championship competitors. So also coming in, I believe that's Logan Sturgeon as well. So Sturgeon, Taylor, your 2 top championship competitors have brought it down pit road. This will be interesting, and I wonder what Patrick Drabick is going to do. I think Drabick is going to remain out on track for the time being. Yes, Drabick has passed Taylor, has passed Sturgeon. JJ Moore, perhaps the most important, the most integral to this overcut strategy to see if it will work out. He remains on track for another lap at least.
As we were on board with that, on Jason Taylor with the Invetson car camera, 14.7 seconds for that stop. Back onto the track. Oh, almost went over that line. You got to be careful and not get a penalty here.
Yeah, it can be quite dangerous. If you do take a penalty, that could be the death knell for your championship hopes, as this race has more than eclipsed its halfway point, and still 5 drivers remain on track. Now make that 4 as Jake Collins brings it down pit road. JJ Moore remains out on track. Interesting strategy call. I don't hate it. Some drivers have made that overcut really work for them later in the run.
Collins slipped through his stall a little bit. That's going to add a couple tenths to his time on pit road. Got to be careful on these green flag pit stops, not to slip up one bit, and you want to run right at that pit road speed limit, because every tenth matters on pit road. Is luckily for him, he started up towards the front in 2nd place. He had that 2nd pit stall. He's already off and away.
Yeah, really, really solid job right there to get back on track in a safe manner. Man, this has been a really, really solid race. You just wish that contact between Drabic and Taylor did not happen. The only real hope now for Drabic is if a caution comes out, really at any point, but right now would be preferred, as JJ Moore has finally brought it down the pit road after a stint of 55 laps. That's 5 laps more than the rest of the championship competitors. I don't hate it. I like it. He was 2 seconds off of the race lead. This could put the tables maybe turning to his way later in this race if we remain green.
This is some great racing all around. You know, even though the field is spread out right now, we got a couple different strategies
What's
getting
up,
ready to
TikTok?
play out.
We're broadcasting
Especially
iRacing.
with this field.
So with only 4 drivers remaining out on track, Drabic is just hoping that he is able to get a caution now. What has surprised me is Jesse Whittington, but maybe not so much, right? Whittington was one of the drivers that made it, known, made it a thing that he was going to save his equipment all the way to the end of this run. And he did a great job with that, but you got to imagine he's coming down very soon.
Going to be coming down very soon. That number 94 machine, especially this number 07. Going to have to come down the pit road soon as well. Looks like we got 4 cars on the track, still on the lead lap. If a caution comes out right now, all those drivers could get the wave around, but they got to stay out to get that wave around. They got a couple laps on their tires. So, a caution right now, these drivers have already got almost 10 laps on their tires. They're lap down, they're going to have to stay out while these drivers that are on the lead lap get to come down and get fresh tires as that 07 machine is hunting down that 94 to try to grab that lead back. Still 17 seconds back. We'll see what he does this time coming around, and he does not come down pit road, so the 07 trying to go for a stint.
Yeah, the 07 is just holding it on track as long as possible. Whittington, he is a dark horse to win this race, right? His lap times have been pretty solid as the run has gone on. Only around a second of fall off, he saved the equipment. So because of that reason, you might be like, hey, 10 laps more on a run, 15 laps more might be a fantastic thing to do as Whittington has got into the wall. So scratch all that. He should come down pit road right now.
Wow. Big contact off of 2 there. And he goes by pit road once again. So continuing to go on this strategy. Just trying to ride it out as long as he can. You can see his best lap there was a 30.08. A second off the pace now. So long ways. I mean, I wouldn't say long ways to go anymore. We got 40 laps to go, and still 4 drivers to come down pit road.
Caution is out. Caution is out on the racetrack. Patrick Drabic is right back into it, and I think that was that Doug Ellingson? No, that was Jacob Lanke. Oh my goodness, a pretty solid run for him so far. He has brought out the caution around 2/3 of the way into this race. Throw out the strategy. Patrick Drabic has just caught himself a break. The 37 just lost it and overcorrected hard into that outside wall. That is race over for him.
That Veterans Life machine had that right rear really hung out there going through the turn and just could not hang on to it anymore. As we'll get Patrick Drabic right here and the number 07 Jam Printing Promotions. This is the break that he needed. He kind of looks like he's got a small smile on his face right now. He's just kind of got a breath of fresh air. He's just getting ready to come down pit road and back in the game.
So Drabic, the worst he's going to start here is going to be 4th place because he is on the lead lap. Jesse Whittington, this obviously helped him. I think he was running a race-winning strategy regardless, but he'll probably start up in the top 2 at the very least. Wow, what a break, though, for a driver like Lokenvitz or Stubblefield. They will skyrocket themselves up to 3rd and 4th at the very least, while Jason Taylor, JJ Moore, and Logan Sturgeon, the 3 other Championship 4 competitors, will really have to make it work here with just about 10 drivers still on the lead lap.
Jason Taylor getting that lucky dog. He'll come down pit road this time. Looks like he's going to grab 4 fresh tires after acquiring that lucky dog. That is one thing the driver can do. JJ Moore and Logan Sturgeon will get the wave around, but they will not, I believe, be able to come down pit road because I believe it'll be closed when they get the wave around. So they will be on older tires. It looks like JJ Moore has about 7 laps on these tires, and Logan Sturgeon has 11 laps on his tires.
So, yes, with the wave around going to everyone pretty much except for Jason Taylor, you would think it would matter more. But it really won't, right? Because there's no other lapped cars for the most part that will still remain a lap down. There's not many drivers that will be between the wave around cars and Jason Taylor as the lucky dog and the top 4 who were already on the lead lap. So it's not as much of a deal. It's going to be quite interesting, though. We've got a third of the way as the wave around cars start to get back onto the lead lap. We've got 1 to go until we're back to green flag racing for 36 remaining.
This race has flown by. We're only 37 minutes into it, and this has been a heater of a race, a great battle for this championship race. As you see these drivers that got the wave around, they'll come tack on to the backside of the field. As we get ready to come back to the green, looks like Jesse Whittington and Patrick Drabeck are going to be our front row.
Yeah, Drabeck, with being on the front row, this is new life. This is absolutely new life. But for a driver like Jason Taylor, who will be starting from 5th place, this is not the worst, right? We've seen him go from 7th to 1st in fewer amounts of laps. So 36 to go. If it goes green the rest of the way, still has a chance. We're just a third of the laps in this race remaining in the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series season through the InVets restart zone. Whittington will lead the way, the inside line full of wave around cars. Green flag back out into the air. A lot more help on the inside. One car switches lanes at the back. That might be an yellow penalty or a drive-through for him. Nonetheless, 10 still on the lead lap. Whittington leads. Drabeck, current championship leader.
3 wide there for Taylor down on the bottom. Trying to get around Stubblefield, Lokenvitz. Now sets his sights on that number 94 of Jesse Whittington. JJ Moore on those 10-lap older tires. Excuse me, now 11. Finds himself in 4th place.
Yeah, JJ Moore, as Patrick Drabeck gets to the lead of this race, gets by Jesse Whittington. Cars sliding up against the outside wall through 1 and 2. All bets are off. Look at this, a big dive to the inside of Whittington by Jason Taylor. Taylor already up in a second. He's been flying in this race. We're going to get battle number 2 between Drabeck and Taylor. You can only assume the aggression will remain similar.
That 07 is not going to forget what happened either. He's going to make sure it doesn't happen again. That is for sure. And we'll have to see how it all pans out, as I'm starting to sweat a little bit of bullets up here watching that 41 get closer to that 07.
Man, there is a fight back from Whittington. I just don't know for how long. Whittington, he was great at saving the equipment for a longer run. I don't know if he has necessarily the shorter run speed. He's certainly staying up there with them, but with this race now in crunch time, JJ Moore goes down to the inside of Whittington. You don't want to get in the way of these championship competitors, but you also have your own race to run.
This is one of the glorious things that I really enjoy about the NASCAR playoff system is even though there's 4 drivers still going for the champion, there's still more drivers on the track going to win races. That's all really close there off of 2. That's what this is all about is racing for wins. And even though a lot of these drivers are not in a championship hunt, they still want to go out here and win a race and get prepared for next season.
JJ Moore slower off the corner. Jesse Whittington has a run on the outside, but has to try and fend off Jake Collins down the inside. That holds off that run through the tri-oval, and JJ Moore will continue moving up through the field. Drabick still the leader in the race, still the leader in the championship. Taylor, Moore, and Sturgeon, the 3 other competitors. Sturgeon's back in 7th. Taylor and Moore 2nd and 3rd.
30 laps to go in the season. Can our defending champion go back to back? And he's got 2 championship contenders behind him. But the 07 still just a little bit faster lap times. See if he can keep himself out there to the front. These laps are just ticking away. He wants to see no caution near the end and he just wants to drive into the sunset.
Taylor and Moore, they're very close to each other on track, and now there's a 2/10 separation between the 54 and the 94, so that allows 3 of the 4 competitors to start moving away from the rest of the field. Sturgeon back in 8th. It looks to be getting worse and worse situationally for him. But Patrick Drabick, I mean, this was really the biggest chance for him to, get back into this championship race. It was a mulligan, pretty much, that caution.
It was almost like a reward, almost for getting spun out and had to do something different, had to do a different strategy, and so far, it's played out in his favor. Got himself out to an 0.8 of a second lead. Just ticking these laps away, as you can see right there. Jesse Whittington at 94 now starting to tick these laps away, trying to get a good run. Looks like he'll try to go to the inside of JJ Moore, potentially into 1 and 2.
Drabick has started to pull away by now a bigger margin here. The 2nd through 5th, they're all fighting. This is exactly what Drabick wants to see. He wants to see side-by-side racing between other drivers in behind. They're all fighting for scraps. They're all fighting for 2nd in the race. And in the championship, Drabick is just continuing to run away with it.
Easy to be on the offense. No other strategy right now than just drive as hard as you can and lead as many laps as you can. 0.7 of a second. As Whittington now getting to the inside there of JJ Moore. Oh, a little sideways there, a little wiggle out of turn 2. Turn 2 a little tricky, but a great run there on that higher line to get around that 94 as JJ Moore still continues to run in that 3rd position and 3rd position. Excuse me, 2nd position, or 3rd position in the running order for the championship.
You have to wonder a little bit if Jason Taylor, like we saw from that first run, he went 0 to 60 quicker than anybody else in this race. You almost have to wonder if with this momentum that we've seen as Jake Collins gets very loose on the exit of 2, almost brings out caution number 2 with 25 to go. That would have been interesting to see who decided to come down for tires. Let's take a look at the replay here, Jeremy. What do we see?
Our Invit's onboard camera here. You can see Collins. Oh, gets down to that apron. A little bit of contact again. Looks like he got a little bit of help as well. Maybe that was Timothy Stubblefield in that machine as Collins had his hands full.
Collins will continue to move on. He's in 8th right now, but just in front of Logan Sturgeon. His championship competing, looks quite over at this point. Jason Taylor, though, has started to reel in Patrick Drabick just a little bit in the past few laps. And pretty much the entirety of the top 5 has been able to do just that. Did Drabick use too much of his equipment too early in the run? And if so, is that a potential death blow to his championship hopes?
We've got just over 22 laps here, looks like, to figure this out. As the laps are winding down, it was a 30.23 for our leader of Patrick Drabick, and the 41 of Jason Taylor ran a 30.20. So still pretty close lap times, but anything can happen. One slip up and our championship hopes are over.
I mean, we already saw earlier that slip up from Drabick. It could have been championship over. He didn't get the caution he wanted. He didn't get the caution he needed at that time. But continuing with the overcut strategy call, just holding out hope for a caution, put him right back in contention, put him in second place on the lone restart of this race through the InVets restart zone. And of course, that has propelled him into the lead of this race and the championship. The gap between Jason Taylor and JJ Moore has grown. It's kind of a replication of what we saw earlier on in the race. 0.6. That's the difference for the race win and championship win right now with under 20 laps to go at Las Vegas.
07 of Drabick having some just better lap times here, and then loses a little bit there, and Jason Taylor being just a little bit more steady right now, ever so slightly gets a little bit chipped into that lead, but with 20 laps to go, he's kind of setting a good pace right now to potentially get there, as Drabick was a 31 and Jason Taylor was a 27 that last time by.
Yeah, that gap is now under 0.6. It's getting closer to half a second between Drabick and Jason Taylor. We've seen them make contact quite a few times, and now easily in that draft, but also in that dirty air through the corners. It does not seem to affect Taylor all that much, and with now 18 laps to go in this race, there's not much time left. 27 miles here at Las Vegas.
Right now, it looks like it is just a championship battle between the 07 and the 41, as JJ Moore is running in 5th and Logan Sturgeon running in 8th. So it looks like right now, as we run, championship battle is between the 41 and the 07. Obviously, a caution can come out, and a lot can happen. So we'll see how it all pans out. But right now, this could be a great battle to finish, and we all saw what happened earlier.
If a caution came out right now, you'd have to think as, Jesse Whittington was sliding off of turn 1 and 2, but a la Jamie McMurray, he saved it in 1 and 2. Great job there.
Throwing out the older references, I love it. Great save there to keep us under the green flag. But speaking of under the green flag, look at this battle for the lead. Under 2 seconds is, Allison almost comes up into the track into this battle for the lead.
That could have been disastrous for just the flow of this race. Ellingson, 11 laps down, almost brought out the caution, getting into multiple competitors right there. Jason Taylor now 2.5 tenths behind Drabick. The championship battle is certainly on. Remember, these two have made contact multiple times in this race, and one of those times it just sent Drabick around, spinning outside of turn 2. Whose fault that was? I don't think anyone's. It was a racing incident. Drabick was loose off the corner, and Taylor said, I don't care if you're loose. I'm going to just keep on driving my race. They're back together again with just 14 to go once they come to the line.
Wow. The whole season comes down to these last few laps between these two drivers as they run. A lot can still happen. And man, Jason Taylor is there. Drabick is having extreme troubles on the exits of the turns right now.
Drabick is slow. Mid-corner, he had to take his foot off the throttle. Exit, foot off the throttle. He's trying everywhere to block. He's mirror driving now, Jason Taylor. He is right there, right on the limit. When does Taylor pounce and make his move? Maybe it's right now. He dives down to 1 and 2, gets a bit of clean air. Drabic comes back down mid-corner and takes that air advantage away. Down the backstretch they go.
Woo. Great battle for the lead right now. Patrick Drabic doing a great job trying to keep this lead.
Yeah, this is awesome. Great racing right now. They swap over lanes through that tri-oval. And with now 11 laps to go here, anything can happen for this championship race. 12, that is.
They're right on board here with Patrick Drabic. You can see he makes a little slip up on the exit. Shakes his head in disbelief. He knows he needs to be way smoother than that because the 41 is all over his bumper.
Yeah, this is unbelievable racing. Great momentum there from Jason Taylor. He's still right on that rear bumper. Where does he go into the corner? Takes his foot off the throttle, goes in much more shallow than Drabic. Is going to have a huge run off the corner. Drabic will try and fight back. Doesn't have the momentum, but definitely did enough there to hold on to this race lead.
Jason Taylor with a really good entrance into 3 and 4. Oh, Patrick Drabic with a little
Door's
loose
opened.
there. Yes,
Door
he's
has
there.
opened up. Drabic.
Tip on the
Oh
line.
my. Taylor is now down the inside, trying to move into a championship winning position. Ran right down to that white line, to that apron, and has to go right back down in line with Drabic down the backstretch. 9.5 to go.
Looks like 1 and 2 is the preferred line right now for the 07. Looks like the 41 doing better in 3 and 4. Like you said, just a few laps to go. This is going to be an awesome finish for this championship battle.
Just awesome stuff going on right now. Riding on board with Jason Taylor, looking everywhere that he can to make the move happen. Drabic pushes tight, goes up a little bit high, but it worked well. That was the natural way that that car moved through the corner. It still kept his speed, but there is a lot more work to do. We're coming to 12 miles remaining in this race. A bit tight and a bit squirrely on the exit. Taylor once again on the attack.
Whew. Patrick has his hands twitching forward right now, doing everything, trying to straddle that seam, trying to do everything he can to keep his momentum up. Jason Taylor, though, right there within striking range, down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. Can he get through that bubble to get back to the inside or the outside of that 07?
I almost wonder if Jason Taylor is playing with his food a little bit here. I mean, he's got a much better car at this length of the run. We already saw that the first try. He's not really doing that much differently than Patrick Drabic. I think he's pushing Drabic into a mistake, and if he can't get him to make a mistake, as he had to take his foot off the throttle right there on exit, then Taylor will start to force it. There is dwindling time remaining in this race, but it's not like the next lap is the white flag lap. You still got 6 laps to go here.
Whew. Watching turns 1 and 2, the 07 pulls away, get to 3 and 4. The 41 closes in, and now we're almost side by side down the backstretch for this championship once again. Can the 41 get there? No, he cannot. The 07 with the momentum once again. Using that high line, but the 41 of Jason Taylor going to drive it harder into 3 and 4 because he knows this is where he can make up the time, and he's going to be there coming to 5 to go.
Taylor opened the door up. He forced it open through 3 and 4. And now side by side gets the preferred line here through 1 and 2. Can force the 07 up just a little bit, but the 07 fights back in the middle groove, and they still remain almost touching down the backstretch. Coming to 4 laps to go. The 41, the 07, the championship. Who wants it most in Sin City?
What an absolute barn burner at Las Vegas between these two drivers. Jason Taylor trying to get all the way down to the bottom, trying to pick up any thousandths of a second he can to try to just squeak in front of the 07. The 07 a little wide in the 1 and 2. That's going to help the 41 get just a little bit of advantage down the backstretch. We are side by side even in a 3 and 4.
Oh, and the 41 decides he wants to just go shallow into the corner, get a better exit and mid-corner speed, but the 07 fights back that middle groove. 3 to go here. Drabic still leads at the line. He led, but Taylor edged out in front for just the briefest of moments going into 1 and 2. This is spectacular racing here for the championship. Way high was Drabic. He still holds the advantage, but there is no separation between the top two in the race, the top two in the championship. GoatLocker Racing fans, you're in for a treat with the last 2 laps here as they almost make contact.
Holy cow, this is going to be a great finish. Drabic being as smooth as he can, the 41 trying to be even smoother. They're giving it all they got. These lap times are so close, a 1:4 to a 1:7. Lap after lap, these drivers have been side by side. Still in the championship, coming to the white flag.
What unbelievable racing here. We get back to the white, and the next flag is the checkered. One of these two drivers you can imagine will win the championship here. White flag in the air. 1 to go. Drabic down on the outside. Taylor in the inside. Taylor has had the briefest of advantages in this later run. Traffic ahead. They're not going to get there. Still alongside each other down the backstretch. It's anyone's race. It's all in the last 2 corners and a little bit of the dog leg. That tri-oval. Taylor skirts up against the apron. He has the momentum. He has the checkered. He has the championship. Winner in Sin City and the championship of all.
Wow. What absolute great racing to the championship, checkered by these 2 drivers of Jason Taylor and Patrick Drabic. This is what GoatLocker Racing is all about. Clean finishes, clean racing, giving back to the community. What a great night to end this championship season.
That was absolutely incredible. And there's no controversy now. The 2 top drivers in this race were able to go mano a mano at the end of it to see who wins it all. Wow, you were in for a treat when you came into this race. We talked about only 15 drivers entered into it. 14 took the green flag. It doesn't matter. It still offers up some great racing. Jason Taylor burns it down. We'll be right back on Maconi Entertainment with the podium interviews.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
What an awesome race there, and a championship win for Jason Taylor. Jason, you're along with us right now. Just take us through the emotions, take us through the thoughts that you've got, because that was quite exhilarating.
That first 30 battling through up to Pat, and then getting on his bumper and giving him hell for 20 laps relentlessly, and it just caught up with us, and we kind of got a little deal there. I noticed he was crossing the seam a little late, and that has a tendency to get you loose through the middle and exit. So when we got on that last 40 laps, I knew if I could just hang on to the tires and then catch back up with about 10 to go, I was going to be able to get him and put the air back on him in a way where he was crossing that seam. And boy, howdy, I done it.
That was awesome, and you almost lost it. It looked like once you had those left side tires. That's that that part of the car on. I was just scraping along the bottom. So great to watch. Just that contact between you and Patrick earlier in the race. Take us through that too to get your vantage point, because obviously it really didn't matter at the end of the day.
We rubbed a couple times before that. He just broke a little bit loose. I tried to not get him, and after the fact, I was more concerned that he didn't hit the wall or break up his car too bad, because that's not how you want to go and do it. And then when the caution came out, I was a little relieved, because I felt like I was going to be able to race for it and earn it. And then I was a little upset too, because I had a pretty sizable lead. I know JJ was catching up there for a minute, but I was in hyper tire save mode, and he was running a little too hot to. When he got to me, I would have picked up the pace and stayed in front of him.
Jason, who makes it work for you? Give us your shout outs for this championship performance.
First and foremost, the sponsors of this league. Without them, this doesn't happen. And the admins that make it all work. Those guys are top notch. To include Patrick, he's been an excellent competitor, in JJ and Logan, and all the playoff drivers were awesome competitors, and it was a very, very tough road to get here. My boys in the Black Flag shop, Sean O'Brien Jr., Dylan Kritz, and Bobby Anderson. Thanks to the Maconi Setup Shop. Without you guys' videos, I wouldn't have the faintest clue how to start at a track. So that's awesome. And then you guys at Maconi Entertainment Inc. Putting on the show for us. I look forward to watching the race every Wednesday after we finish racing, and I'm just so relieved and happy and excited. I'm the champion, baby.
Jason, congratulations. Very happy for you here, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much.
Jason Taylor, what a victory for him. And Jeremy, you've got Patrick Drabick.
Yes, we certainly do. Patrick Drabeck in the 07. Man, came up one position short. Definitely made it a challenge for you tonight. Had a little incident there early on. We'll obviously get to that, man. What a great season, though, overall for GoatLocker Racing's Wednesday night Cruisin Classics series. And, man, walk us through your season. Walk us through tonight. And, man, just all around the great season.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a challenge here tonight. That car built pretty loose. It was kind of ripping up the left rear, which kind of made it pretty unstable there. So it was chasing it. And here at Las Vegas, it's a big aero game, and you really can't get away from anybody. And it was a whole heck of a lot of fun, battling Jason Taylor there during that first run, and then luckily enough in the second run. But an incredible season. Start of the season didn't go so great for me. Was able to win a couple playoff races. and just come up about a tenth short here tonight.
And that was exactly it. I brought that up at the beginning of the broadcast. You came into the championship, in the round of 12 at the bottom of the chart, last in points there. And, here you come to Las Vegas battling it out like you flipped the switch and, it was a great season. Who do you got to thank for getting you here?
Well, Jam Printing and Promotions, it's on the side of the car for sure. Can't say thanks enough to them and all they do. We just shipped out 44 hoodies thanks to them. So hopefully a bunch of them get there before Christmas. But Hidden Wit Brewery on Tuesday night in the Xfinity Series, I was able to bring the championship home for them last night, which is phenomenal. Cruisin Classics, what a wonderful group of people. I was actually chatting with one of the owners today, which was awesome. Can't wait. They're going to be back all next year as the title sponsor for the Next Gen Series, which is phenomenal. Nasty's there in Hilliard, Ohio, Veterans for Life Racing and Veterans for Life Foundation, which will now be Operation Valor on Fridays. And then InVets, who takes care of everything for us on Sundays and does amazing things for veterans all across the country, but specifically here in Indiana. The Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs and their awesome grant that they gave us here as our nonprofit. Next Level Racing, Sim Motion, everybody that helps us out when we put these rigs together, and especially iRacing. But a big shout out to everybody in the field and everybody that turned a lap here in the Next Gen Series this season. It was a lot of fun. Jason Taylor's definitely a deserving champion for sure.
Well, it was a great season. You came up just one spot short. Congratulations on a decent season, and we'll see you soon. Thank you again for everything, and thank you for letting us be a part of your season.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. Patrick Drabeck finishing just one position short of a championship. We will now bring in our third place finisher here tonight and our vet spotlight of the month here for GoatLocker Racing, the number 79 of Josh Lokenvitz. Josh, you weren't a part of the championship hunt, but you found yourself finishing third here in the season's finale, man. Just give us a little brief walk through your season and walk through tonight.
Well, for the season, this is only my, I think my third race in the Cup Series with these guys. I kind of came in towards the end, and so purposely not qualifying, trying to stay out of the way of the playoff guys and just have some fun and get to know some new folks before the next season starts. Was playing an off-cycle pit strategy just to try something out tonight, and ended up working out in the end.
It worked out. You got yourself a third place finish. Congratulations on that, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you next season. Who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
Well, I mean, all the league sponsors, of course, Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit, Cruisin Classics, all the folks at Nasty's watching tonight. Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Jam Printing and Promotions, Maconi Setup Shop, V-Speed, NASCAR 360. And then the ones on the truck, Farrell's Lead Farm, they kind of been with me since I started racing, iRacing, iFlag. Man, I'm getting nervous in interviews here. I'm drawing a blank. Full Lock Racing. All the guys we run together across multiple leagues. So, and Big Fish with Logan. Tell you what, you want some killer barbecue sauce, reach out to that guy.
Appreciate the interview with Josh and Jeremy Briggs, and we'll bring it back to our cameras here. Been a fantastic season of racing in GoatLocker's Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, and Jeremy, it was an even better race than pretty much, I think, any race we've seen thus far all year. Contact between the top two competitors in this race earlier on ended up not really mattering at the end of the day. We kind of got to see a part two between them, and Jason Taylor was once again the winner, this time without any contact.
There was a reason those two drivers were running at the front there at the beginning of the race, and they found themselves, like you said, back to it at the end of the race, and it was a great battle. Like I said, 4 laps side by side, and you couldn't ask for more for a championship finale. And the GoatLocker Racing this whole season, I've been here since the beginning. I early worked with Ron Mons, and you came in here at this part of this almost, I think it was halfway through the season, Dylan, and it's been great to cover everything here at Maconi Entertainment. It's been a pleasure to work next to you, pleasure to work next to Ron, and appreciate Eddie and everybody, all the producers that's been a part of this season. I got to thank GoatLocker for letting us do this, and I've really enjoyed it, and hope to be back for next season. This was a great season, great championship night. Couldn't have asked for more.
Truly agree with your sentiment there, Jeremy. And that's it from us at Maconi Entertainment. The Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series has finished for this season. Thank you to all of those who has watched all year on Maconi Entertainment. Still more championships in GoatLocker Racing to be decided on. But from myself, from Jeremy Briggs, from Eddie Smith tonight, we wish you a pleasant good evening, good night, and good racing.